It was interesting. And maybe the Rudy Gobert 5-pick 4-player trade screwed the market up. But increasingly, there's not a huge market for Kevin Durant. And, I said this the other day, Marcus, where the media, myself included, make a big mistake, is that we like mobility. Fans really don't. Fans want to root and wrap their arms around players.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Cavaliers this year had the second highest ratings in the league with no LeBron. The lowest ratings, the Brooklyn Nets with all the stars.
Yeah.
And I said this about Kevin Durant. I can like him, but he doesn't allow you to put your arms around him. It's hard. Aaron Rodgers has this in Green Bay. He never lets you hug him.
Yeah.
And I think some of the market for Kevin Durant is that we know he's great, but we don't know what he's thinking. And we have to give up so much to get him. Are you surprised the market? I mean, Phoenix now may do a sign and trade with the Pacers, meaning they're out of the Kevin Durant market. Are you surprised the market has dried up?
I'm not, because like that, nothing like having to give up 5 picks reminds you he's 34, right? Like, it's like, wait a second, this isn't 26-year-old KD. And if you're going to give up that much, now you start looking for warts, right? It's like, hey, man, I really want this. I like it. But once you see the price, now at that point, you're thinking of reasons not to buy it. And Kevin Durant's got some reasons, right? Like, as great as he is, he's got some reasons. I do think you're right, though. There's a difference between like respect and adoration, right? People respect his game, but you don't feel this massive, I will fight you in the streets for his name and his honor, right? Like you feel with some other stars. And I do think he has a role in that, right? I do think like the movement has a part of it, but I also think like he constantly tells people, you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what makes me happy. Well, it's like, yo, I kind of don't actually. So it's hard to like know you, right? His story doesn't get like, I think his story is incredible, and I don't think it gets told enough. Like his road to this point, it's kind of like, whatever, but it's really a great story about a dude who made it kind of from nothing and used basketball to keep himself sane and safe. But you're right. Like, you got to be able to hug him emotionally, spiritually. You got to be able to be with him. And he spent the last, 5-6 years telling you why you don't have that relationship with him. So I do think that's different. Yep. And I think all parties can have some responsibility in that, including him. But some people, though, there are some players who don't deserve such fans and have them, right? Like people like Russell Westbrook fans will fight you in the streets about Russell Westbrook, right? James Harden fans will go in on you. They're finding your address because you don't get to talk about James Harden like that, right? I do think there's a price to pay, because as great as KD is, he should have that in droves, right? But something is not connected in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've moved a lot in my career. The downside to mobility is you always kind of feel like an outsider. I mean, you're from Oakland, you work in the Bay,
no
right?
question.
Like you're an insider. Even at Fox, I was local. I was at ESPN. I'm at Fox. Not that they haven't treated me well, but there's people that have been working at that shop for 35, 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? When I walk in, I wish it was home, but I understand, like, am I home or am I a visitor? And that makes me respect it more. When I walk into Fox, I always feel like this is not my building, right? Like, I can be let go. My contract runs out. So, and that's not a knock. It's just when you're mobile, like in the Bay Area, you are home covering the right team for who Marcus Thompson is.
Absolutely.
This is my 7th state I lived in.
You're a nomad. You're a professional. No, you ain't a nomad. There is like bonus points for being situated. I mean, look, we respect Dirk Nowitzki's 1 championship over a few people's like 2 or 3, just because he did it in one place.
That's right.
And that was a sacrifice like Kevin Durant made leaving Oklahoma City. He's gonna have to stack up enough championships where it's like how many do you need to be more valuable than that one you would have gotten in Oklahoma City that people thought you should have got, right? There is like bonus points, bonus adoration, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you sit down in one spot and ride it out. I don't even know if that's fair, Colin. I feel like if I want to go to New York, I can, and I should be able to, and you should love me just the same. But no, ain't no love for me like it is in the Bay, because the dirt is in my skin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, Michael Jordan. We watched the Pistons tackle him.
Yeah.
Isaiah wouldn't shake his hand. We watched the Celtics tackle him. We watched the death of his father. We watched the comeback. We watched the flu game. And then we watched the documentary where he's fighting with his general manager.
Right. Yeah.
I think a big part of the Michael Jordan love is he got his ass kicked a lot and he lost a lot personally, professionally.
No question.
Makes Michael so much easier to embrace. Like, I've said this. My wife always jokes. She says, you have balance. You have a chip on both shoulders, right? Like Brady, even though he's great looking, has a model wife, he's won a bunch. There's still something about being drafted in the sixth round.
Pick from Michigan. Yeah.
I find it incredibly likable. With Durant, it got tough in Oklahoma City. He left. It got a little uncomfortable in the Bay and he left. He's got 4 years left in Brooklyn. He left. Man, it's hard to deny when the going gets tough, he gets on a plane. That's kind of what a lot of fans see, Marcus.
No question. And, people don't remember the early years if you don't stay either, right? Like, people, fair or not, nobody's talking about, hey, man, Oklahoma City was trash, and then you won 60 games a year with them and took them to the finals, right? Like, people just don't, I don't know if they don't have the attention spans or just you lose that equity once you leave. But I do agree that, like, yo, we love Jordan because we remember, like, Jordan was born in rebellion, beefing with the league about wearing black socks and the wrong color shoes, right? Like, he was a rebel from the beginning. He was an underdog from the beginning. Now he became Jordan and this huge cult following, but those of us who will fight you in the streets for him, we were the ones who remember where he was getting fined for black socks and baggy shorts, right? Steph the same way, right? The injuries, the wasn't supposed to be much coming out of Davidson. Like, you get to keep that credibility, that earned, accrued adoration when you stay home. And I do think when you leave, people forget. They do forget that Kevin Durant built Oklahoma City into something, and he endured, and he probably could have left 4 years earlier. Like, the choice that we wanted him to make, he made it the first time he had to sign an extension. And he's like, remember, I'm staying home. I don't want to jump. I'm signing a 5-year deal. I'm staying right here. And I can understand why in a player's mind, you're like, that has earned me the right to leave. I gave you 9 years. Like, I did everything I could. I've earned the right to leave. But that's not how fans work. Like, that type of rationale don't work with fans. Fans are like, yo, you dipped on me. So all that stuff previously it doesn't count, right? Like, that's the game, yo. And, that's what Omar from The Wire said. The game is the game.